Porcio, TopVelocity.net. Going to pitch analysis here. Kyle going to pair him up with Cody Hall. Let's take them into their leg lifts here. This pitch of Cody's at 96. We can see, let's see, Cody inside drive leg, but more the trunk inside drive leg. We get Kyle kind of leaning back to the back leg. So when Cody comes out of leg lift, a lot of momentum being built up. I would say even at this point, they're probably in similar positions, except Cody's hip may be a little bit more ahead at this point. So maybe just a little bit more momentum going forward. You can see Cody here more counter-rotating the trunk, and Kyle is leaning the trunk. Or Cody's just as lean, but he's more, I'd say, just more open with a high elbow position. Cody is more closed off with a low elbow position. Let's see how that affects them moving into leg drive. So in leg drive, look how Cody holds that lean back to the target with the counter rotation. Like he holds this even as his leg starts driving, which is really impressive. A lot of kids want to start opening, shifting weight forward, tucking glove into the leg drive, and you can see he's holding that posture into the drive. If we watch Kyle go into the drive movement, you can see the glove arm throwing out. So when we see Cody in that kind of same place, the glove is going out but not extending, and he's trying to stay counter-rotated in the movement. He doesn't want to open his trunk, ideally as late as possible. So into front foot strike here for Kyle as he hits front foot strike. And when Cody hits front foot strike here, we're seeing a little bit more, I'd say, glove tuck or earlier glove tuck with Kyle, specifically when the front leg stabilizes. If we go to the stability of the front leg, which you can see right there, look how quickly the chest opens up. If we see Cody hit here and stabilize, chest is not, or a glove is not tucking down as hard. So I think with Kyle throwing the glove out and pulling it down forced his trunk to open earlier, and even at the point where his arm hadn't fully cocked, so now he's going to be in a position where he could easily create some arm drag. You can see with Cody at that same point, he's already externally rotating, so it's the arm's going to get up in position when the trunk fully opens. But as far as hitting front foot, I'd even say both of them, similar in hip to shoulder separation, except Cody, specifically in his back shoulder, is definitely more closed off, but Kyle's got a little more open hip. So I would say hip to shoulder separation, say even if it's the same, it's still more beneficial to be in a more closed off back shoulder position or closed off shoulder orientation, because that's going to be more time to pitch release, to accelerate energy to pitch release. But like I said, then the other issue of Kyle tucked too early or too aggressively and leading to some arm drag. Let's see what happens. And we need more frames. Between here and here, I would say that elbow gets behind the scapular plane, which is called hyperangulation. So being a little too aggressive here is getting the arms late to abduct and lay back. But, just picking at that point. And then you can see at that point, once the arm gets up, trunk doesn't really carry that much farther. For Cody, once the arm gets up, the trunk keeps going forward. I'd say a lot more than Kyle here. If we measure it, it's going to be hard to measure on a lot of space here. Let's see. Actually, it looks like very similar there between the two with the trunk orientations. But let's see. You can see at this point, Cody's internally rotating a little bit earlier, it looks like, at this point. So this is where we would want to look at trunk speeds, because it looks like Cody has a little bit more speed into pitch release with the trunk, and Kyle doesn't. That's why his arm is late. It's later than Cody's to internally rotate. Could be. I think we need a lot more frames here to really nitpick at that. Kyle does get a little bit more extension in the front leg than Cody, but just some little little particular things here that we're seeing, like some little details. Cody being with a little bit more momentum out of leg lift, getting the trunk and side drive leg. He doesn't he keeps the shoulders closed longer, doesn't throw the glove out and pull down aggressively, causing the early trunk like Kyle. So Kyle's opening up a little bit earlier than Cody is. And then Cody it's creating the impression that Cody's more trunk energy going forward into pitch release. So even if two guys had very similar mechanics, the guy who's able to move through them more explosively or faster is typically going to be creating more energy through the movement, creating more velocity. So at the end of the day, Kyle just could work on being a little bit more explosive. I mean, if we counted the frames, if the frame rates are synced up, be interested to see some of the movements like the trunk rotation to trunk tilt movements, who's going faster or taking less time, the hip rotation movements and stuff like that. So I think Kyle's got a good base here. Just kind of narrowing in on some of these specific things would really be key to really picking up some velocity and ultimately to getting the athlete or getting himself more explosive.